invite Lyndia Stacey up. She works with UW Engineering Outreach, which covers a ton of stuff, including ESQ, Engineering Science Quest for kids, the Catalyst program for grade 11 girls, teaching them about engineering, women in engineering, and that's how I got to know you actually, and lots of stuff. So, and there's her name, because I'm very bad at clicking through slides. But yeah, I will let you take it from here.
All right, this is what
you want to press.
Okay, great.
You're good. Okay.
All right,
Thanks, Lyndia.
All right. Hello, everyone. As Steph mentioned, my name is Lyndia, and thank you very much for inviting me, June, Hive, Steph. I'm really excited to be here. And I work in Waterloo Engineering Outreach, so we use a lot of technology in our educational programs because we're all about the STEM side of things. So I wanted to spend like my 5-minute window talking on like a high level, the topic of the digital progress in society and how it's sort of mapping and impacting education, because it really is. So I'd like to start with the fact that I was born, or like I hit the time around the early 90s where there was a big shift between analog and digital. So I saw those big changes, and now I have like a cousin in grade 1 who like wants to join me on Snapchat, and I was like, right? So like the difference in child even in like 5-10 years has been drastic. So I remember when I was a kid, my parents brought home like the first colored printer, and like my brothers, we all gathered around the printer because it was like a really big exciting deal, and it was like slowly printing out a colored dinosaur, and we're all like, wow. Right? I remember thinking the future is now, right, as a kid. But like, I am printing in my home from like something on my computer. The world would never get more fancy than this, right? So, and it has, obviously. So there's been progress in a dynamic way. And I find the digital world is super lightning and super fast, and then the educational side of things is slower, right? The way the system is working, it can't keep up with the speed of digital technology. So who here does like to keep up? Who here is like, as soon as a new phone comes, they throw it away and they get the new one? Yeah, by show of hand, or we have some people? Okay, yeah? They don't even care, it's like perfectly working. It's like, who are the people who like, unless my phone drops in the toilet or gets run over, I will never get rid of it? Like, yeah, right? Because they don't need to progress? Okay. So it's interesting how much has changed, and a specific example of the phone fascinates me because you have so much in the palm of your hand, right? So much information. Back in the day, you would go to the teacher to get this information. That's where the knowledge was, the library, the teacher. But now it's everywhere, right? It's so accessible, and that's fantastic. But it also comes with some issues, right? Because now there's new skills of people trusting websites that they shouldn't. We all now go how-to in a YouTube video, but maybe you didn't click the right video, right? So where are your resources, and how do you start to analyze and synthesize so much information? And then there's like a communication expectation. I have a friend, if she texts me and it's been 2 minutes, she's like, it's been like 2 minutes, you text me back? My phone is not glued to me or like part of my brain yet, right? So everything's fast, everything's right now. I'm sure we face that with emails in the workplace too, right? No one's doing work anymore, everyone's just quickly emailing everyone. So is anyone willing to admit they were around when the resistance of the pocket calculator when it was first coming in? Okay, I think that was late 70s, early 80s. But initially, the pocket calculator, or just calculator, standard calculator, which you might not think is tech because we're so used to it, it is technology. There's big resistance. They're like, no, don't bring that in. Our kids will never do math again. They'll never understand math. It shouldn't come into the system, right? And obviously it has. And the question, there's still people who think the calculator ruined mental math abilities, right? You go up to the till and you give past the amount because you want a certain change back, and the person's like, and you're like, oh, right? Calculator, right? So, and what the question now is education is, was that appropriate? I mean, there is a technology that exists that now can do the math for me. Is it more important for students to understand how to use a calculator, know the systems behind it, know that the number it generates makes sense in the context of the question, or should they be able to crush that mental math out? And to what decimal level, right? Like, where do we let technology come into education? So a lot of progress isn't happening in education. And one, I can't go into like the systemic issues of the educational system. There are wonderful things, but it is slow. What I do want to say though is, we can't blame old people, okay? There's a lot of people waiting for old teachers to die, and then magically all the new teachers will bring in this tech and bam, education will line up with digital citizens, right? There is no correlation between age and tech use and understanding. I have one set of grandparents who haven't turned on a computer ever, don't have internet, and every time I help them Skype, it's at their chin and they're yelling, and I'm like, you know what, we'll just stick to the landline. And then I have, one generation doesn't know what a landline is. And then I have another set of grandparents who keep up with all the Apple products and have asked me questions about that. I'm not an Apple person, so I don't know. I'm like, I don't know, Grandma, but I like your new iPad, right?